guys, KRS here back with a video. Today in this video we are going to compete with the Tensor Generation 2 versus Triple H. So might be question in your mind that hey, you are comparing with the 2 years old processor which is a Triple H. So over here the comparison is the thing which is similar to both the thing, and I think Tensor Generation 2 will be easily competing with this one.
Well, talking about the announcement, Google Tensor Generation 2 was announced at 6 October 2022, while we all know Snapdragon 888 was announced at 1st December 2020 has a 2 years old processor. Well, talking about the CPU, you will get one Cortex X1 core with the speed of 2.85 gigahertz with the high performance in Tensor Generation 2, and for the low performance you will get the two Cortex core which are based on A78 and the speed is 2.35 gigahertz. Also you will get four cores for efficiency based on A55 and the speed is 1.8 gigahertz. Talking about the triple eight, you will get the similar one Cortex core which is based on the X1 and the speed is 2.84 gigahertz for the high, and for the low performance you will get the two Cortex core which are based on A78 and the speed is 2.42 gigahertz. And at last you will get the one Cortex core which are based on A55 and the speed is as similar as the 1.8 gigahertz. So over here we can see that actually the winner over here is slightly moving to the generation 2 because the high performance is slightly improved, but I will give it to the triple eight plus because being the 2 years old also it is killing the game over here. Well, talking about the cores in both the side by side you will get 8 cores. Talking about CPU fabrication in generation 2 of the tensor you will get the 2850 megahertz of speed, while in triple eight plus there is a minor change because we can see CPU is slightly upper in a tensor generation 2, so over here you will get 2840. So not a great change, but we can say a 10-20% or maybe less than that. Well, CPU fabrication is the thing to say for the Tensor Generation 2. Is it based on the 4 nanometer? Oh, sorry, triple eight is based on 5 nanometer. Now, the 4 nanometer is just a thing that each company is bringing, so why not Google? But the speed you can just see in the CPU is not pretty much great over here. Talking about the GPU, you will get the Mali G710 MP7 in Tensor, while in triple eight you will get the Adreno 660 over here. Well, the memory type is similar in the both processor. You will get the LPDDR5. Well, talking about the size, we know pretty much that the Tensor is only making the chips for the Google and will be insert in the Google only. So over here it is only up to 12 GB, while triple eight is the global thing. Many of the companies are using for the flagship thing. There are lots of names like Motorola, Samsung, and Lenovo, Asus, many etc. So over here there are lots of gaming phones, so this thing will be go up to 24 GB, and in the 8 gen plus 1 we have also seen that this can go up to, well, sky is the limit. Talking about the NPU over here, you will get the next generation tensor processing unit in the tensor, while in triple eight you will get the hexagon 780. Well, talking about the storage, you will get the UFS 3.1 over here. Well, talking about the memory frequency, you will get the 3200 megahertz of frequency in both the side by side because both are using the LPDDR5, and I don't think they have pretty much optimized as Apple does. So over here, both has the same thing. In the display also, both are using the similar display as you can see. While talking about the camera, Tensor has not tell us that how much capable is this processor to processing up to more megapixels, but as suggested in the Pixel 7 Pro, you'll get the primary up to 50 megapixel. Over here, the triple eight can go up to 200 megapixel, and in 8 plus Gen 1, we can also see the 200 megapixel, which are doing pretty much great. While talking about the video capture and playback, in a Tensor, you will get the 4K at 60 FPS, while triple eight can go up to 8K at 30 FPS. Now, talking about the modem, this is the part where I think the Tensor can win the game because this is the 2 years old processor triple eight talking about. So over here, the modem is the thing where Tensor can win the game. Over here, you will get the X65 in both the side by side, while the LT Cat is 24 in the Tensor, and in the triple eight you will get 22. So over here I gonna give it to the Tensor. Well, the interesting part starts over here, which is the benchmark. In Tensor, the single core is 1068, the multi-core is 3180, and the overall score is more than 8 lakhs. While in triple eight, you will get the single core at 1129, multi-core at 3007, and the score over here of the total is more than the Tensor, as you can see. So over here, being the 2 years old processor, this processor can easily beat in the benchmark, which is not a great news for the Google because the 4 nanometer needs more power, and we have seen in the Apple, which have not pretty much improved, but they have optimized themselves that they can easily compete with the 8 Gen 1 Plus. And over here, the Tensor has just played the game of the 4 nanometer, but in the CPU terms, it is not much powerful as we can think. So I think to compete with the generation one will be easily to say that it is a not a great thing by the Google. I think in generation one, if we are competing, there might be one changes. So I have not competed with the generation one, and thinking that to compete with the capable is the triple eight over here.
So this is not going much pretty much well because after Apple, the Google is doing the same thing, not improving the processor. We all know that the X2 cores are available, but they are using the simple X1 core. And if we compare with the triple eight, over here there is a slightly improvement in the GPU by the generation 2. So we can easily say this is not compatible with the 8 Gen 1 or 8 Gen 1 Plus. So this is pretty much not a great news by the Google because I think the Tensor need more power and Tensor might be improved in generation 3, but over here generation 2 is not much improved as compared to the generation 1. So this was all about the both the comparison of the processor. Hopefully you like this video, subscribe to the channel, press bell notification to all so you never miss any other update coming with another.